Robert Brown with ASAR. I'm talking to you today from the recently completed Gulf Star Marina, the first in the world automated storage and retrieval system for marinas, dry storage, boat stacking with more capacity than the traditional system. So we're going to explain a little bit to you about how that works, the advantages to automated storage and retrieval for marinas, and also the efficiency of the electrical system, quietness, and some of the other advantages that come along with the automation system. So let's start by talking quickly about the reason you would want to go with automation. One of the main reasons, and one of the places where it works best, is when you have very high value land. For example, in a downtown Miami or a New York City, it's the same concept as doing a high-rise. So when you have very valuable land, you want to maximize the potential to put more storage capacity on that portion of land. The dry storage automation works kind of the same way. We're able to take a piece of property, and rather than have a large drive aisle that a traditional forklift needs to be able to turn and put a boat away or back out with a boat, we're able to take and reduce that drive aisle to 2 feet bigger than the largest boat that we're going to store. So for example, if we were going to store 50-foot boats, we would need an 85-foot drive aisle. In this scenario, we only need a 52-foot drive aisle. We're able to take that extra roughly 33 feet and turn it back into sellable, leasable cubic footage for the developer or owner of the marina. We're also able to stack boats 2 and 3 deep. This is the only system in the world that's able to stack boats multiple deep. And that's a big part of the equation. Not only do we reduce the initial drive aisle, we actually eliminate 2 or 4 more drive aisles. You're usually able to get at least 50% more capacity of sellable, leasable footage with this system versus the traditional forklift system. We also are much quieter. It's a totally electrical system, and so it's only electric motors, very low decibels, so we're able to blend into a neighborhood, for example, without it bothering the neighbors if we're in a residential setting or adjoining a residential setting, or just waterfront property as a whole. That's just some of the advantages with the automated system. What happens is the patron, the person renting a slip or owning a slip, whatever the case might be in the marina, literally goes onto an app on their cell phone, and only the times available will show up that that person can choose from. They enter the time that they want to go out on their boat, and when they get to the marina, automatically that boat is brought down prior to their arrival. But the boat comes down, transport aisle, the way we've designed it to come to the waterfront from the inside stacker crane. We have 2 inbound, outbound lanes. The boat is then transported from the inside of the building over to a boat lift, which is also electric and very quiet. We drop the boat in the water, and it's ready for the patron once they show up. We stage it ahead of time like you would in any traditional marina. Staging is always an important factor. We're able to, again, just accomplish all this in a more efficient fashion. Another advantage we like to talk about when it comes to the tilt wall building and marrying that to the technology, when we are putting boats 2 and 3 deep, for example, it kind of mirrors a drive aisle in the sky. So to accomplish that in the most cost-effective way, we've done solid concrete at every level in between boat bay levels instead of just 2 beams like traditionally. Now, a huge advantage to that solid concrete is when we put a boat away, if it's still wet and dripping, it's not dripping on the boats below. It keeps the water from ruining cushions or whatever the case might be, water dripping on a boat from above or several boats from above. So we feel like that's a huge advantage. But not just is that an advantage from a water standpoint, that also creates a 4-hour fire separation between the bays. We have 4-hour fire separation between the bays in a vertical stacking fashion, but we also, because those bays is staged on tilt wall also, we have an 8-hour fire separation between the bays vertically. The hurricane ratings and the fire ratings on this particular building are just like nothing else on planet Earth. It is earth-friendly, so to speak. This particular customer has opted to implement some covered parking areas. The covered parking will have solar panels on the roof. The solar panels will actually offset the entire electrical footprint of the building, including the running of the crane and the coming and going of the boats. So that's another huge advantage. It's a very green technology as well, and it's something we're very excited about, we're very proud of. That's just a few of the advantages that we like to discuss when we're talking about advantages of automated storage and retrieval. We truly believe this is the way of the future. We think it will eventually take over the market from a dry storage standpoint. It has so many advantages, and the whole thrust of what we do is to make sure that the owner or developer of the marina can get the highest and best use of his return on investment. That's where we like to start. We're well positioned in the marketplace since we do construction and automation. We're able to give customers a price for their construction and automation, but also we develop spreadsheets. If we work with that customer to understand their market and understand their rent rates, and so we create a spreadsheet, developer spreadsheet for them that we can quickly get to a go or no-go decision for that owner. What our goal is to bring in this automation and construction type to them is, can it make them more money? Originally, when we started doing dry storage, it was without the automation. The first thing a developer or an owner of a marina property wants to know is, if I'm going to spend X, can I make a return on that investment? And that's the first place we like to get to with an owner is, can this thing make you money, and is it worth doing from a financial standpoint? If we can get to that point, then we continue the conversation with that owner and make sure we're not wasting his time or our time. So from a reliability standpoint, the ASAR system is designed to last 40 plus years. The reliability is over 99%. Nothing in life is 100%. But if you realize, if you take the time to come see the machine with us, which we encourage everyone to do, and look at it, it's very simple. It's far more simple from a machinery standpoint than even the forklift. The forklift is diesel over hydraulic, has a lot of parts, pieces, hoses, thousands of parts and pieces and hoses. And if you look at this system in this machine, it's really very simple. It's 2 drive motors that drive it up and down the aisle, and 2 lift motors that lift it up and down. The complication, of course, comes in a little bit with the automation itself and the computer software that drives that automation. But people used to ask me, well, what happens if the computer goes down? And that's a very simple answer. There's a cage on the crane for an operator. You simply push the buttons up, down, left, and right. And you can run the shuttle manually as well. What happened because of COVID, when we first opened this marina, we weren't able to get the automation people here from Europe to finish the programming and do the commissioning. We ran it for over 6 months in manual mode. It's very easy to run in manual mode. It runs at 2/3 the speed, but at the end of the day, it's very easy to run, and it's not a problem. GCM is a construction company that's been in business since 1988. We specialize in a lot of large industrial, commercial type structures and buildings with a background and specialty in tilt wall construction. ASAR is our automated storage and retrieval division of GCM contracting, and ASAR was created really for the necessity to automate some of the dry storage boat barns we had done for other customers, and trying to reduce the amount of footprint we use to store boats. And so we've been able to accomplish that through this automation and the ability to reduce the drive aisle and stack boats 2 and 3 deep. This is something that's groundbreaking, and quite frankly, we think will take over the market eventually as people learn the advantages of this system.